Yeah. Hair flip, yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip, yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. And hair flipping on these toes. Hi.
Hello everyone, welcome back to your boy Sean Davey Way. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe on the way in. As usual, tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today, we will discuss IG model Gena Tew. New information has just come forward that Gena Tew has been suffering from AIDS for the last 10 years. She has been linked to celebrities such as Chris Brown, Nick Cannon, Chief Keef. The list just goes on and on. The reason she's being brought up is with her coming forward with her diagnosis of having AIDS, people are speculating if she infected any artists that she's been around, such as Chris Brown, Nick Cannon, and more. So without holding you any further, let's jump right into Gena Tew. IG model Gena Tew, linked to Chris Brown and Nick Cannon, admits to having AIDS for 10 years, now 70 pounds. The world of black celebrities has been rocked by some explosive news. A popular model who had been linked to Chris Brown and Nick Cannon has come out and disclosed that she has had AIDS for the past 10 years. The model Gena Tew lived in New York City for a while, and she was pretty popular on the scene. She traveled in the all-right circles, including Chris Brown and Nick Cannon's circles. It's not clear whether Gena had any intimate relationship with anyone from either Chris or Nick's camp, or the celebrities themselves, but if she did, they are in some serious trouble. That's because Gena came out publicly recently and told her fans and followers that while on a routine visit to the hospital, doctors found out that she had AIDS, the deadly syndrome that occurs after a prolonged and untreated HIV infection. And her situation was pretty bad. Doctors believe that Gena has had AIDS for a long time, possibly as long as a decade. Gena is just 25 years old. Once Gena learned that she had AIDS, her health quickly went south and she was diagnosed with wasting disease.
It'll be the last time that we stand. I don't know how long we've been here, but
Yeah, I got here probably about 20 minutes before you.
ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Push through those legs. Come on, push, 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 push. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Push through those legs. Come on, do it. Push those legs. Anyway, not bad.
Not bad at all.
She was always a skinny girl, but her weight dropped suddenly just to 70 pounds, and she was too weak to walk. Gena recently went on a routine visit to the doctor's office, and while there, doctors found out that Gena has AIDS. Now, with Gena having this diagnosis, doctors try to track back how long you've had it. So with Gena, they're stating that she's had AIDS for over 10 years. Now, it's HIV before it turns into AIDS. It only turns into that if it is untreated. HIV is 10 times more treatable than AIDS will ever be. Remember, HIV is no longer a death sentence, but AIDS technically still is. It is definitely still something that is being fought and hard to treat. You have to have HIV in order to get AIDS. So if she's had AIDS for 10 years, how long has she had HIV? And remember, she's only 25. So that means if she's had it for 10, 11 years, that she probably contracted it around the time that she was 14 or 15 years old, and maybe sooner. Who knows? Only she does. Only she knows when she started being active. But with that being said, Nick Cannon, Chris Brown, Chief Keef, and many others' names have come up as a circle that Gena frequented, and no one necessarily knew the relationship that she had with these people. So let's get into Gena bringing forth her diagnosis and being very open and candid about her situation.
So I guess it's time for story time. Everyone keeps asking how I got AIDS. I didn't know I had AIDS. I just got sick one day, started fainting, fevers, then I got really weak, and I was going to the doctors and no one knew what was wrong. They just kept assuming cancer, cervical cancer, lesions, and then I had some doctors saying, no, you're perfectly fine, like there's nothing wrong with you. But eventually a doctor was like, did you know you have AIDS? And I'm like, no, because I wasn't getting checked like I should have as much as I was supposed to. So I didn't know, and I lost a lot of weight because I was in the hospital. I don't know what happened. And from losing all that weight, I lost mobility in my legs, so I can't walk or stand right now. But I do my therapy every day, and I do take my pills every day like I'm supposed to. I take 5 pills a day. No, I don't know who gave it to me. So, I just found out recently I didn't have it. They said if I didn't show up when I did, I would have died because my blood count was so low. I was needing blood bags. They was taking bone samples. They were doing a lot because I was so weak. Still so weak. And I think I have wasting syndrome. I'm not anorexic on purpose. But yeah, I hope that answered a bunch of you guys' questions.
So what's being stated is that 2 years ago, Gena found out about her being diagnosed with AIDS. She got very sick. She was rushed to the hospital and she was bed-stricken for a while. And in the process, she lost a lot of muscle mass and, she lost a lot of weight, while she was in the hospital. Now, 2 years later at 27, she is opening up about it. So I know a little bit earlier when I said this, she was 25. I stated that because 1, the article does, and 2, she was 25 when she found out. She's just coming out publicly admitting it, but she found out when she was 25. So she found out in 2020, not 2022. There's a lot of misinformation going around the internet because so many people are running with this story. But once again, she found out when she was 25. She is now 27. The 27-year-old model, Gena, made the alarming divulgence on her TikTok account, where she expressed that when doctors alas found what was off with her, she was extremely sick, could scarcely walk, and lost one eye to AIDS, and was on the edge of death. Does Nick Cannon have AIDS? IG model Gena Tew hookup rumors. Gena, as of late, made a public statement illuminating her admirers and devotees that she had AIDS, the disease welcomed by an extended and untreated HIV contamination found by doctors when she was hurried to the emergency clinic after a sickness. Also, presently fans are stressed assuming she has contaminated well-known American rapper Nick Cannon with AIDS as well. The two made a title of making a mysterious relationship before. It's hazy assuming Gena had any unsanitary relationship with Nick or even with the others. They would be in some hot water in the event that they attached with her. What's more, she was in a genuinely critical condition. In any case, during a meeting on ABC Good TV's Morning America, Nick Cannon uncovered that he had lupus, a kidney condition connected to lupus as well. As per specialists, Gena has been likely living with AIDS for basically 10 years. That suggests that any individual who came into close connection with her over the past decade is themselves a terrible sign that they may be infected as well. As per reports, she's supposedly been connected to the rapper Chief Keef and artist Chris Brown. Nick Cannon affairs and relationship timeline. Cannon has been connected to and reputed to be involved with endless ladies previously. I remember years back when Nick Cannon came forward and stated that he had lupus after he was hospitalized, and people were very worried about him. So let's get into when Nick Cannon was hospitalized due to lupus. Hospitalized Nick Cannon shares selfie from hospital bed as he continues to push his body to its limits. After I got finished watching America's Got Talent, I get a text and find out Nick Cannon is in the hospital. What? Before I could second guess the source, I see the story has already been confirmed by Nick Cannon himself. The photo posted is actually a selfie. The 34-year-old, at the time, self-proclaimed workaholic, snapped a selfie of himself with a fishing cap on and sad puppy dog eyes lying in a hospital bed. As we found out during the last time he was hospitalized back in 2012, he suffers from lupus, an autoimmune disease, and it flares up when he pushes his body to the limit. It looks like that's exactly what he did. He posted the picture and captioned the picture below. Don't worry, temporary pit stop. Sometimes I can be a little too bullheaded and stubborn. I gotta stop running my body to the ground. I be wanting to grind non-stop, but the engine can't run on fumes. On the low, I really think I'm a superhero. Now, I'm not saying I'm Batman, but I'm saying nobody has ever seen me and Batman in the same room together. LOL, hashtag I'm good. Let's do a little homework. Nick Cannon diagnosed with lupus back in 2012. His kidneys shut down, and also a few weeks later, he got a blood clot. Okay? Gena, her doctors stated that she has been living with AIDS for the last 10 years. It is the year 2022. If you minus 10 years, so go back 10 years, that's 2012. The same year Nick Cannon was diagnosed with allegedly lupus and his kidney shut down is the same year that Gena had AIDS, meaning that she had already had HIV. Okay? Now let's get into Gena and her tweets and Facebook's post back then. Gena Tew on December 15th, 2015 at 5:48 a.m. This is what she posted on Facebook. Out in LA chilling with Chief Keef. Then headed back to NYC for my B-Day to chill with Nick Cannon. Life. So that means that they were clearly around each other while all of this stuff was going on. From 2012 to and then on. They had already known each other. They had already been being around each other, pictures taken with each other, coming and going from places, hotels. So there was a lot of time that she spent with Nick. Now, do we know if their relationship was sexual? We can only assume just because we know how Nick is. Nick is definitely a ladies' man. He is always slanging, his Johnson around. That's why he has all these children and whatnot. So the proof is in the pudding. Once again, December 15th, 2015, she wrote that she was out chilling with Chief Keef and headed back to NYC for her birthday to hang out with Nick Cannon. At this point in 2015, she had already had AIDS. She had already had it. So with her having that, all the people that she's traveling around to, anybody that she sleeps with, especially non-protected, they are at risk of getting what she has. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments about this. Do you think that Nick Cannon's lupus was a cover because it's an autoimmune disease and so is HIV and AIDS? It definitely has everything to do with the immune system. So did he use that as a ploy to distract people so they didn't know what was really going on? Because Magic Johnson did the same thing. Charlie Sheen did the same thing. They did not come right out and state, that they had the HIV virus. They did not say that. They said that it was other things, and then later on in life decided to come forward with their truth. So it's no different than Gena. Gena has known. It's not like she just found out yesterday or last week or anything like that. She found out about 2 years ago, going on 3 years now, that she was suffering from AIDS. So it wasn't a secret to her, it was a secret to us. So is this a secret to other men that she may have been with? because you are supposed to contact all of your partners. I wonder if Chris Brown, Chief Keef, and Nick Cannon got a phone call 2 years ago about her alleged diagnosis. Also, around the time that the pictures were being leaked of Nick Cannon and Gena around the world, of them coming out of hotels and other places, going to certain events, leaving separately, this was around the time that Nick Cannon was separating from Mariah Carey. So this was while the divorce was going on, is Gena coming out as the new leading lady in Nick's life. So a lot of people were assuming that Gena was Nick's new flame back at the time of Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon separating. Gena has refrained from speaking on her past partners, although she's been linked to Chris Brown, Dave East, Chief Keef, Nick Cannon. She's been connected to a lot of male celebrities, but she has not spoke on who may be infected or not, or anything in that nature, which is okay, because once again, it is her personal life and it is her business and the people that she allegedly slept with business. It doesn't have anything to do with us, but she has not stated any names. Gena also stated that she has no idea where she could have contracted it. She's gotten tattoos, she said, free tattoos with needles that may not have been cleaned. She has also stated that while she was homeless coming up in New York, that she was RAPED'd multiple times, which is something that is very hard for her to speak of. So it could have came really from anywhere and anything within this moment. She has no idea where the location of the virus came from. That's why I feel that people should think before they speak. So just because this young lady has not been tested in over a decade, there's a lot of fears of people getting tested. It's a lot of fear. It is better to know than to not know. But at the same time, if you have been traumatized by somebody because they RAPED'd you, it's a fearful thing of going in and getting tested. I mean, you just never know, especially when it had something to do with you not having a choice within the matter. Something happening to you against your will is very terrifying and it's very traumatic. So this is a victim. And with her being a victim, I think that it's wrong for people to belittle her, degrade her, and do all of these things as if they know this girl's life. If she contracted it due to a trauma that happened to her against her will, think about saying nasty, negative things about that person. Would you truly want to be a victim of an RAPE and in the process you contract certain things? And not only are people making fun of you for those things, it makes you feel as if it's your fault. It's different going into a consensual situation and certain things happening afterwards, but to have no choice in what's going on and then have to deal with something like this, it's traumatic all over again. In my opinion, I feel that people are worried about Nick Cannon and possibly being infected because he doesn't wear protection. He's even stated in interviews why wear condoms. He's also admitted that before having his children, there was years that went by that he was going around having a lot of sex with people, yet not using any protection. And it's also deliberate with these women that has carried his children. Everyone that he has pregnant or has had a child with, that's due to no contraception. He's not using contraception. So if he was messing with Gena, it's a high chance that there was no contraception being used. Let's get into Nick Cannon stating why wear condoms. Nick Cannon joked about never using contraception 4 years before welcoming 3 children and expecting a 4th in the space of 6 months. Taking on Eddie Murphy's 10 kids and the Hanson brothers' 15 kids between the 3 of them, in fertility stakes, it was announced Nick Cannon is expecting his 7th child with his girlfriend Alyssa Scott just days after he welcomed his twins by DJ Abby. Nick, 40, is already the dad to 10-year-old twins with ex-wife Mariah Carey. In 2017, the rapper was chatting to Howard Stern about his experience with lupus, having been diagnosed with autoimmune disease in 2012 and being hospitalized 4 years later. When he commented on how the condition had changed his attitude towards life, he said, "When you experience near-death situations, life-threatening situations, it's honest, it's real. I feel like, yo, I'm running out of time. Every time I think I'm doing good, then I go back to the hospital. Almost died this time due to blood clots and stuff. I don't fear it, I welcome it. I got a space now where I can say I'm going to probably die sooner than most people. I mean, that's what the doctor said. But I'm living life like the F. I might die in the morning, so let's F all night. So why wear condoms? I might not be here tomorrow. It should be said, contraception are the only way to protect against STIs during sex, as well as helping prevent unwanted pregnancies. So we're not condoning Nick's attitude towards wearing them, but good for him on his lust for life, we guess. Nick admitted to not wearing condoms, okay? Especially before his children. So that definitely means that if he was around, which he was, around Gena and anything sexual was going on, there was no contraception being used. That's the only way to protect yourself against STDs and STIs. With that being said, he's living like a person that is going to pass away at any moment. And I understand that when you do deal with things that are life-threatening, it does make you appreciate life a lot more and do a lot more of the things that you love. If having sex is one of those things, why wouldn't you partake in that as much as possible? We don't know what the next life brings. So I do understand, what he's saying, but I don't understand the action behind it, because it doesn't mean that you still can be harmed or removed from this world due to something else like AIDS. So I get it that people think that Nick Cannon may be infected. It definitely would make sense to me. I'm not saying that he is, because I still have no idea if he was ever sexual with Gena or not. I have no idea of their relationship. They've just been seen a lot. So with them being seen, especially coming out of hotels and things in that nature, it does seem that there may be a possibility, especially with Nick Cannon stating that he did not use contraception, especially years before all of his children were born. So, and while some of them were already born, he was still going around doing what he was doing, and he was not using contraception. So how do we know that lupus is just not a easier thing to tell people that you have, because people aren't frightened by it? But when it comes to AIDS, it definitely has a tone to it, and most people want nothing to do with it. So it does have a stigma that is attached to it, and it is more so of like a dirty, type of stigma. So if somebody hears that about you, it's going to be less likely that people want to engage you, especially sexually, knowing what you have going on. So to keep people wanting to want you is like, just don't tell them, type of situation, unless you have to. And with most celebrities that have to come out and talk about their status, it is usually because it's being forced, because somebody else is threatening to say it, or somebody else found out, or they infected someone else. So now they're forced to say something like a Magic Johnson or Charlie Sheen. There were women that were coming forward stating certain things about these men, and then all of a sudden they're on this campaign talking about that they have this and that. So shout out to Nick Cannon. Once again, we have no idea in what's going on. It's just all speculations and assumptions. Also, shout out to Gena, because nobody goes to lay down in a room with someone, especially that they're trusting, and expecting that to be the end result. The stigma that is behind HIV and AIDS, I do think needs to be removed, because these people are still people, and they're not out to hurt anyone. They're not out here to try to infect anyone, or cut your lifespan in half, or, they're not here to do any of those things. There were people that trusted someone that they shouldn't have, or trusted someone that didn't know what was going on in their body. So let's get rid of that stigma. I think that we should try everything in our power to. Everybody in the world is affected by it, men, women, everyone, So with that being said, we should all be more open to being more welcoming to people that have it, instead of isolating them and making them feel like they're worthless. So that's what I have on Nick Cannon and Gena as of right now. I will keep you guys updated. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Nick Cannon or Chris Brown or Chief Keef are infected? Do you think that they ever had any type of relationship sexually with Gena? Let me know your thoughts. Until the next video, I love you all. Bye.
Fresh, flex, fresh, yo, my neck, got with conflict, bitch.